So, it doesn't take much when you turn on the computer and you load up whatever site you're on. And you turn on the television and you turn it to whatever channel you're watching. It doesn't take much in all of that to figure out that the world is kind of messed up. It's messed up. And we are messed up as a country, as a people. I heard the statistic yesterday that hate crimes against Muslims in our country have tripled since the San Bernardino shootings. And certainly those statistics are reliant in part on the rhetoric that comes from our politicians and leaders. 30% of a particular GOP follower agreed that they would support the bombing of Agrabah, which is a town in Aladdin, a movie that doesn't actually exist. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Okay, on the one level it's completely ridiculous, right? But here's the thing. When you are so full of hate, when you are so full of hate, that you would bomb fictional towns just because you would bomb anything, right? If it sounds Middle Eastern. What does that say? It says dual citizenship in Canada for some reason. Wow. Wow. It is amazing. You know, there's a meme that's going around Facebook and I love it. It has the nativity scene. It reminds us that there were these Middle Eastern refugees looking for a place to be a couple of thousand years ago. And every year there's the cry, oh, it's terrible what happened to Mary and Joseph, and there was no room at the inn. We would never do that. Except that there are bills in Congress to prevent the migration of Syrian refugees from the Middle East with their babies too. With their children who are out in the snow right now. Because yes, it does snow in Syria. It's amazing. What a wacky time we live in. And yet here is this story. This story that won't let us go. We have before us the most amazing story that I can possibly think of. The creator of the cosmos becomes one of us to show us what love means. I love the Hubble telescope. The pictures that we are getting from different galaxies and stuff around the universe are just, they're phenomenal. They just blow me away every time I see them. God is so creative. And that same God who created all of those galaxies, all of those different worlds. And we think we finally found a planet, I think it's 14 light years away, that actually is close enough to Earth they believe there's water on it and it can sustain life. That's amazing. And the God who did all of that came to be a little baby in a manger, just so we would know that love is stronger than hate. See, the reason that Mary and Joseph are there to begin with, right, is that the emperor has ordered a census to be taken. How many of these Jews are we dealing with, he wants to know. Because they could be a pain to the Romans. And so, at that point, you kind of got to know who your people are so you know where to send your soldiers and figure all that out, right? So, Mary and Joseph are part of an oppressed people. And they've traveled to Bethlehem, where David's line has brought them through Joseph to be counted. They are there to be counted in the service of an empire. But oh, what they're really counted for is service to a whole other kind of people. They are there to be counted as God's people. And Mary has this little baby. And they get there and it's probably late at night. And it's not in December. It's probably in April. The shepherds are out there with their flocks, right? And they get there and there's no room for them and they're desperate and they're scrambling and finally somebody says, I have no room left, but here's a stable. You can hang out with the cows. That's what they do. That's what they do. And in the midst of all that bustling around and all those people packing the city, it's full, right? Some people are out there partying. And they're probably not all nice people, right? And yet it's to that situation that God comes. The shepherds, people forget when they read the story, they have this image, right? Because all the kids for the pageants, they put on the little things on their head and they have the little shepherd's books. And they have this little sheep with them. And they're like, oh, that's so cute. Shepherds are stinky in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were shepherds who were out there in the field. They're not taking baths, people. They're stinky. And here's the other thing that goes with that stinky. They have a stinky reputation. Shepherds had a reputation for being not the most couth people. Right? So, of all the people that these angels could appear to, right? So the angel comes out to them and says, you know, behold, and all the angel choirs behind him and the shepherds are terrified, right? That would freak me a little bit too, to be honest. But part of the reason I think that they're afraid is because they know who they are. That angel did not appear to the royal court. The angel didn't appear to the religious leaders of the day. The angel picked the shepherds. Stinky guys with a bad reputation. And said, guess what? I'm bringing you good news. And they're like, us. And they're trying to stare at each other and not see that the angel's talking to us. And what's the first thing he says?